Guys, you had the 7-point lead at halftime, and it seemed like they came out, they turned you over a couple of times, and it changed the course of the game from there. How did the second half unfold differently than the first half for you?
We just didn't get stops when we needed to. We weren't tough enough. I feel like they were more aggressive in the second half. We turned the ball over too much, which led to a lot of transition points for them, which can get any team going, honestly. So,
EJ, how did you see that?
Didn't play with a lot of urgency that we needed to come out and win. It was a great crowd out there. I felt like they gave us a lot of energy in the first half, and second half we didn't give them any energy back. So I feel like we didn't come out and play with enough urgency that second half. So.
Why?
I wish I could tell you. I don't know. A lot of games in a short amount of time. I felt like the energy level just went down. Just seeing our legs not being able to slide our feet, and those are things we got to work on. I mean, happy we get a little break here soon, but you can't let that happen. So,
guys, how much playing defense is want to, and how much of it is skill? If you had to break it down, and where are you guys on that chart?
There's a lot of talented defensive players like out there. You just see guys in the NBA who have length. Some guys who just are like God gifted at that, but some is want as well. And I feel like we gotta want it a little bit more. Just have to go out there and execute the game plan better. Have to go out there and make the winning plays. Got to dive on the floor for a loose ball. It was a loose ball, and somebody didn't dive on the floor for it. But I just feel like we have to want it more. So.
yeah, it's just, I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's any way to break it down, but you definitely got to have the want to. A lot of it's scheme, just being locked in on the game plan. So that just goes along with watching film, paying attention to the scouting report, things like that, knowing what guys have certain tendencies.
It seemed like a couple times this season you guys have had offensive droughts throughout some of the losses. What's the conversation in the huddle? How do you guys kind of move past that when you just can't
We
get
have to
shots
get
to fall?
defensive stops to like give us momentum on the offense end. Like when we're not getting transition buckets, we're not running. We're all just in the half court set, and I just feel like we didn't get stops. At one point, it was like 10 possessions. We only got one stop out of 10. So just that and us slowing down on the offense end comes from the defense end and just giving us momentum. So.
You talked about getting a break here for a little bit. I know this is fresh, but how much is that going to help the team to kind of have a couple days off here finally after this rough run?
It'll help for sure. I mean, I think it'll help any team. When you go on a stretch like we did to close out the season, it's tough. But at the end of the day, it's not really an excuse. We just got to own it and, own the fact that we haven't been playing well enough to win games on both sides of the ball.
Justin, you've been around teams here that are really good defensive teams. Your first couple of years here was one of the better defensive teams. Each time was one of the better defensive teams in the country. The last 2 years, it's not been that way. I'm just wondering if you've noticed any kind of difference, any difference in approach with the group that you think has led to that kind of drop-off? Because it's been, pretty steep from where you guys were when you first started here.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really say there's anything that I noticed that led to a drop-off. It just comes down to us, like I said, being locked in on the game plan, and more importantly, just the want to. Our team is predicated on being a team defense. Not leaving your teammate out on an island, being in the gap, swiping, gang rebounding, all that stuff. So, if one person's not connected and it's only 4 out of the 5, we're gonna consistently have breakthroughs on the defense. So we all just gotta own the fact that we gotta be better on that side of the ball, and we gotta be more connected.
EJ, obviously, last game in the shot and regular season finale, but at the same time, it's a regular season game, and you still have a lot of basketball that you guys can play and play well. How do you try to spin this forward and look positively on the next few days to make sure that Thursday's a good day, Friday's a good day, and you guys keep putting together good days to get some things done in March?
Yeah, I mean, this wasn't our last game of the season, so I don't look at it like that. I hate losing, but we just got to have the right approach to the next couple games. Last year we made a run in the tournament, and hopefully we could do that again. But we just got to just approach it the right way and learn from this. So.
Justin, I know it's hard to look at things like this after a loss, but to hit 4 threes and to see yourself, kind of get back into a rhythm a little bit, how important is that for you as you head into postseason play, trying to put together some things?
Yeah, it felt good to see some go through, but like EJ always says, winning is honestly the most important thing for me. So That really doesn't mean anything, to be honest.
There's a significant difference between live ball turnovers and dead ball turnovers, and a lot of theirs were, you guys today, were them getting steals and live ball turnovers, but they weren't necessarily taking advantage of those, turning them into points in the first half. Did you guys say anything in halftime about trying to fix that before it obviously got out of control?
Yeah, we knew we had to take care of the ball. It was that and rebounding. Those were two of the keys that we knew we had to focus in on, and kind of just too lackadaisical in that area for too much of the game, which led to them going on a roll.
Were they doing anything specific that maybe played into that at all?
They were aggressive on defense, and we just, we weren't matching that level of aggressiveness on the offensive end.
What kind of changed from? Did you see Michigan's offense kind of change at all there in that second half? Was it more energy? What kind of led to them kind of exploding there?
I really don't know. I know we were turning the ball over. They hit a couple transition threes. They were getting out, running, spraying the ball, getting to the paint. But I didn't really see anything different that they were doing in the second half than the first, besides capitalizing off turnovers.
Yeah, it seemed like you guys kind of, had that aggressiveness there in that first half, and I guess what was working there that I guess may have not translated there in your return.
Just the effort.
All right, guys, one more question.
For both of you guys to go through, senior day festivities before a game, just how, bittersweet is that to kind of go through that before a game and then not be able to finish it off with a win?
Sucks. Losing sucks. It's never fun.
All right, one more. Good? All right, thank you, Justin AJ.
Give Michigan credit. Obviously, tough loss, but give them credit. Thought they played really well. So, move forward here to whenever we play next. I think Thursday, as it is right now.
Coach, the run in the second half there, I think 14-1.
Yeah, defense.
What contributed to that?
Defense and turnovers. Yeah, defense and turnovers. So, we just didn't have the urgency we needed. So that's my fault. It's my fault.
I'll ask, their three-point shooting, it seemed like without Dickinson in the post, they weren't going to have a guy on the low post that they could put the ball down into, and yet your guys consistently, play after play after play, dove under the screens and left the shooters wide open, and they just made you pay time and time again. Just what was going on with your team's handling of those ball screens?
Well, you're talking about a 25% three-point shooter. So you made a few, give the kid credit. You're not if you're talking about that, that's on the ball screen coverage, you're talking about a guy who shoots 25% on the year from three.
Aside from that,
the other ones were transition.
Aside from that, just they had 11 steals in this game. Do you feel?
Yeah, we didn't handle the ball well at all.
Yeah,
we were sloppy with it. We were soft with the ball.
How much playing defense is want to, how much of it is can do, skill, and actually having the guys? Because this has been this is a broken record now.
Well, for 2 years now it is. Yeah, not our 2 of our first 3 years we were really good, top 20, top 25. So I think there is some things to consider there, and obviously, you know, we've got to find a way to coach it better. But there's clearly some personnel things we have addressed and we'll need to continue to address.
How hard is it in recruiting to know that a guy has that special and to get out on the perimeter or whatever?
Yeah, it's 1-2 and it's dimensions, it's physical dimensions, and it is 1-2, and I think clearly we didn't have enough 1-2 on that end today. I thought that and our turnovers got us beat, but again, that's on me. Obviously, they didn't have the readiness for that that they needed to have.
Chris, you guys got until Thursday until you play again. What's the key going to be in these next few days to get guys healthy and to keep that energy level, or to get that energy level back to where it should be after playing so many games in so many days?
Yeah, we need rest. We need to get healthy, but we need to play better. You know, we need to play better, and we need to defend better as a group. So health is certainly a factor.
Coach, you guys have struggled with second half droughts really all season, even in wins. How do you prevent that going into the postseason?
Yeah, we had too many careless turnovers. Their trapping of the post bothered us a little bit, but yeah, we didn't handle that well. So that's on me. That's my fault.
Coach, you know what happened to Emilee there with the injury? And do you have an update maybe on Kyle's status going into the Big Ten tournament?
Yeah, I think Emilee turned his ankle and Zed re-injured his ankle. I don't know the severity of both, and I'm not sure yet on Kyle's status. You know, I think he's getting better by the day, but I couldn't give you any update other than he's getting a little better by the day.
Chris, over these last 2 years, as you mentioned, it's been a little bit of a trend here. Do you feel like you all have prioritized defense enough in your roster build when you've brought guys in?
No, we've got to. I think we have moving forward. I think we've got to, and obviously Kyle's versatility hurts us. You know, when he's out, it affects our defense in a significant way because you have another versatile frontline guy that you can switch with. But clearly, it's something that we have addressed, and we've addressed it since this has kind of been an issue for a year, and we need to continue to address it.
How does something like that kind of get away from a staff? Obviously, you have multiple needs. You're trying to address all of them at the same time. But how does that area kind of get away from you guys as you build the roster?
Oh, and I don't want to put it all on that. I think we've got to do a better job across the board in every way. So I don't want to say it's just personnel related. I just think we're seeing some things where we've got to continue to get a little more length and a little more positional versatility, and a little more defensive versatility than what we've had. And some of that is it takes you time to kind of build and construct the roster, but we've been intentional about that in our recruiting, and I think it's heading in that direction. But again, it's not all that. It's, you know, we've got to coach it better. So that's on me.
EJ and Justin were both talking about effort and saying guys didn't bring enough. On a senior day in front of that crowd playing Michigan, how does that sit with you?
Yeah, I mean that's obviously unacceptable. So it's I think senior day is a lot of emotions that goes into it, and it can almost be in some ways paralyzing because of all that goes into it. But I just didn't think our bite was near good enough in the second half, and that's on me.
Are there things though that you can attribute that to? I mean, you're coming off, you had a losing streak. You beat Michigan State, and I know every matchup is different. But what do you pin something like that on when it seemed like maybe you had things moving in a little bit better direction just a couple days ago?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure.
Coach, you've called this stretch unlike anything you've faced in your career, like an NBA schedule at times. Now that it's over, you do get a couple days here. How much does this team need rest to get ready for the stretch here?
Yeah, I think we need rest, but we need to get better in some areas. Rest and health are critical. Rest and health are critical. But you know, I just thought, yeah, rest and health are critical. But there are issues that we've got to continue to improve in, and we've taken some strides in some areas. We've not turned the ball over like this in a while. We've not been this sloppy or careless with the ball.
When you have a loss like this to end the season, how hard is it to move past it, knowing that the most important part is right around the corner here?
Yeah, I think our guys know what's in front of them. Obviously, they're all extremely disappointed, as am I. So, but you know, you take it between the eyes and move forward.
You guys were up 39-30 at halftime. but like they were turning you guys over in the
I
first
think it was
half.
a 7-point game, wasn't it?
Yeah, you're right. 7-point game, but like they were turning you guys over in the first half as well. They just weren't capitalized on it. Did you guys kind of sense that at halftime and kind of, I don't know, did anybody say anything? Like just.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was an issue. Yeah, I think that and our rebounding were significant issues that were addressed at half. I just think, they got into us and they bothered us, and we didn't run good lead cuts, and then their trapping from the baseline was something they had not done. Obviously, when you play a team a month ago and you beat them, they're going to make adjustments. They adjusted to how they were playing the post, and we thought we had given them solutions, but clearly we didn't. So that's on me.
Were they physically tougher than you guys today?
Well, I mean, I'll let you guys answer that, but obviously we need to play a lot tougher.